Heat Signature is the internet flash game that went to market, boasting solid gameplay with enough interlocking mechanics and variations in its objectives to be engaging in the moment. For better or for worse, that's all you get. The campaign storyline is bare bones at best, and procedurally generated content is reduced to swapping names and colors. While there are witty snippets in the item descriptions and the 5 characters you get to talk to, this quickly runs dry and repetitive as you progress through the game. It's puzzling that a game built around procedural generation has almost no customization options. You can only change the color of your galaxy, and you can't even change character names, so my dreams of painting the walls red with Broody McEgerton were dashed. The only real personal touch I got to leave was naming the heirloom items my retiring characters consigned to the void of the loot tables. As a result, neat mechanics like the ability to rescue your friend's characters, find your friend's heirlooms, and have liberated stations take on your characters' names all feel half-realized. Without any way to make a personal affectation on the universe, every procedurally generated galaxy ended up feeling the same. Gameplay is an odd mix of Hotline Miami's top-down brutality with the temporal micromanagement of FTL. Much of the intricacy comes from the various gadgets you can loot and item manipulation tricks you can do with the item transporter. Armored, undamageable opponents can be dealt with by shunting them next to windows to be sucked into the cold void of space, and many situations that appear unsurvivable can be survived with the application of out-of-the-box thinking. Delightfully, there are enough mechanics and mission modifiers present that no single tactic will carry you throughout the game, and every item has a chance to shine as the tool of the day. Combat, stealth, and ship mechanics all work together in a very pleasing manner. Unfortunately, without anything to back the game up, how long you enjoy the game depends on how long you can amuse yourself exploring the mechanics of the game. There is punishingly little narrative, world building, or choice outside of the core gameplay. What story there is ends on a note that tries to be smart, but just feels like it makes light of the player's efforts with no real payoff. Lastly, while they have been putting down nearly daily updates to try and catch all the memory issues, the game itself slows to a Matrix-like crawl during extended sessions. For these reasons, I feel hesitant recommending the game at full price. At least for now, there is no real replayability despite the procedural generation, and while incredibly promising in concept, feels half-baked in execution. If more content gets added, and the issues I've described get addressed in some way, I'd happily recommend it. There are plenty of moments that left me saying to myself, that felt awesome, and that's worth something. There's some balance issues with the gadgets, namely the subverters and the fact that getting your hands on them obviates the need for both crash beams and key cloners. In a game where every tool gets a chance to shine due to how specific they are, subverters end up doing a little too much of everything. They're still not an end-all be-all, and using key cloners and crash beams appropriately is still more resource efficient, but it's worth consideration for later iterations. Among the ship types, the Angel and the Coldfire were relatively weak compared to the Brick and the Tick. Getting used to piloting the pods obviated a lot of the need for a stealth ship that could go through ship sensors, especially when the Tick did that faster and more efficiently. The Angel had the nice benefit of keeping wounds from building up and causing a premature retirement, but its benefit was largely unfelt once I got comfortable with the mechanics and my injury rate went down. The Brick and the Tick, on the other hand, both offered unique options for resolving situations that no other piece of equipment could replicate. Personal quests don't really distinguish themselves from each other aside from procedural name swappery, with the exception of the personal theft missions. Every personal mission had no payout, with the exception of these missions, which ended with ridiculous payouts that, while story-wise were meant to clear debts, save family, or some other copy-paste reason, could instead be used to spam mystery crate purchases prior to retirement. This made this type of personal mission superior to every other mission, as it meant I could nearly ensure that the heirloom added to the drop table when retiring was a rare, self-charging gadget.